Hello, happy new year, and welcome to one of my favorite videos to make, and that is recapping the year. It's so nice to look back and reflect on the year and look at all of the big moments, small moments, hard moments, special moments, the challenging ones, the sad ones, the joyful ones, and just everything in between. And this year definitely had a mix of things in them, and it's fun to share all of these moments again and just kind of go over everything with all of you, but then also just to my future self when I'm old, I can look back and remember all of the moments that I felt were important enough in the year 2025 to recap at the end of the year. So so grab a drink, I got my smoothie, grab a snack, grab your pet, and let's dive into the 2025 year recap. I got my handy dandy little notebook. There wasn't a lot that happened in January for us personally. We were working a lot. At this point I was still nannying, so I was nannying 3 times a week, and if I wasn't nannying then I was usually doing an Airbnb. So we were very busy working, and Anthony had his interview with his current job, so that was really exciting for him. And then the only other notable thing I wrote down for January this year was the TikTok shutdown. I only note that because I went through our calendar and my photos to kind of recap the year, and I downloaded every single TikTok video I'd ever made up to that point, and they're still on my phone to this day. I have a lot of accounts, so I have like my personal account that I made when like, you know, 2020 or whatever, and then I have the TikTok for like this, it's Raylan Melissa, and then I have one for my professional theater dance one, and then also like my gaming channel. So it's a lot of videos. Anyways, that's it for January. And then February started off, I went to my first in-person audition in a year and a half, I think. And I auditioned for a play, which is very outside of my realm. I usually do musicals, I'm definitely a dancer first. But I got a call back, which was really exciting for me, and that felt really good. My first time auditioning in so long, and first in-person audition, and my first time with this new theater. They didn't know me, and the fact that I got a call back was just a really good feeling coming back to the theater world. And at that callback I met my good friend Anna. We have worked on a project since then, which is to come later. And it was really funny because at the callback we hit it off, chatting in between being called back, and we really hit it off. And there were 6 females called back, and there were only 4 female roles in this show. And 2 hours into the callback they made some cuts, and they cut me and Anna, and we were like, so we didn't book that show. And we like left together like, all right, so we should meet up sometime, you know, the 2 cut girls. So that was really fun, and she's really a special friend. I'm so glad we got to meet, and it was worth it to have that friendship. I was literally texting her earlier today, so that was really special. The really hard part of this year was we lost our Zeusy. I've had Zeus since I was in middle school. We were trying to figure out the exact pinpoint time of when we got him. He was a rescue, but I want to believe our family pictures in 2010. We don't know if the family pictures were 2009 or 2010. We're still trying to figure out that time frame. I was obsessed with Yorkies, and apparently I would not shut up about Yorkies. And the lady who took our family photos found one in the woods and remembered that I would not shut up about him. And so when they couldn't find his home, they brought him to us and asked if we wanted to take him in. And my parents did. So I got, he was my baby boy. He was with me through everything, you know, middle school, high school, every boyfriend I've ever had, college, graduation, and in my wedding, and just everything. And when I got my own apartment in Arizona in 2021 and Zeus was finally able to live with me post-college, even at that point I was like, he's old, I kind of have to like mentally prepare myself that any day now I could wake up and he not wake up. And he got a burst of life in him coming back to live with me, and he held on for a few more years. Me and my husband and my mom and everyone, we truly believe that had I not got my own place and was finally able to take him with me, to have him live with me again, that he wouldn't have lasted as long as he did, because he outlived the lifespan of his breed, which is an Australian Terrier. And so thankful every day for every moment I had with him. And I remember always thinking that I hope my first baby gets to meet my first baby. And while that didn't happen, he did get to meet my husband and be there for our wedding and get to love on and be loved by the love of my life, and that is really special. With Zeus, the crazy thing is that I kind of fell out of vlogging for a while. I did like a October recap video and then like a holiday season vlog, and then hadn't really done any vlogging at all. And one week in February I decided that I wanted to get back into it, and I picked up the camera and started to vlog a week in my life, and it ended up being the last week of Zeus's life. And I vlogged some of the last moments we got with him, and I wouldn't have had those moments if I hadn't had that little itch in my brain to start vlogging again. And in overall perspective, if I never started vlogging and posting to YouTube. And I made a compilation video of some of my favorite Zeus moments to celebrate his life, and every footage in that video I had because I decided to start vlogging and posting on YouTube. And that was kind of the moment in where I was like, this is why I vlog, this is why I post on this YouTube channel, not only to share moments and to share life and to share real life, but also just so I have these moments to look back on, and my husband has these moments to look back on, and our future kids have these moments to look at what their parents were like and all of these things. And it was a good reminder of why I do this, why I vlog. So in March, I filmed a self-tape and submitted to a theater that I really like, and I was really proud of it. It was for musicals. I had to do 2 songs and film a monologue, and I haven't filmed any stuff like this in a long time. I've just been out of the game for so long, and I've been out of voice lessons for a long time. I didn't know how I would sound, how I would feel, how I would any of that, and I was really proud of my self-tapes. And while nothing came out of those, I'm really proud of the work I did, and it really kind of got me back into it, and that was really exciting. So I thought that was noteworthy for the year. We celebrated Anthony's 28th birthday, and so it's just so fun to celebrate birthdays and milestones, and we had a fun time with the family. We did karaoke and we played Guitar Hero and just had a family gathering, so that was really nice, especially because, you know, we were in Arizona for a couple of years, a few years before we got together and then a few years after, and so this was the first time we got to celebrate his birthday with his family in a long time, and so no, that was really special for him. And I crocheted my first stuffy ever. He was a little fat chunky boy. He was supposed to come out a lot smaller than he did. He was a chunky cow, but he's cute and he's adorable, and my very first stuffy ever, so we love him. And then of course Sunrise on the Reaping came out, and that book broke me. It broke me. It tore me to shreds in all the best and worst ways. And I got to go to the Barnes & Noble book release party and do trivia and play games and do all these things. And I got the book, so it was Monday night I got it, and I stayed up all night. I think I slept, I did a vlog of it, so I have the exact time on there, but I think I slept like maybe 2 or 3 hours. I went to bed like 6 a.m. and then I woke up and finished the book. So that was really fun. And now the movie is coming out in 2026, and I am so excited and scared for that. I'm very scared. I'm terrified. And if you've read the book, you know. If you haven't read the book, why haven't you read the book? Go read the book. April. Let's see, I kind of wrote these backwards. We made a trip to Oklahoma, a spontaneous trip to Oklahoma, and it was really nice just to hang out with my brother and my nieces and nephew. I feel like it was one of the first few times in a long time I really got to bond with my brother. You know, it's hard being adults, and he became an adult when I was still in middle school, really. And then he got married and he had kids, and so every time we did get to see him, it was for one of the kids or for a big event or for something or for a wedding or for this or for that. And this was one of the very few times where we weren't meeting up because something else was happening. It was just solely a trip to be there for them and spend time with them, and it was really nice. I did my first live stream. So if you don't know, I do have a gaming channel. I haven't posted on it since surgery. I did start a gaming channel and I did my first live stream in March, and it was so much fun. I loved getting to do that. It was such a fun way because I love gaming, and it was a fun way to connect with other people who maybe enjoy the same game as you, and especially the Animal Crossing, which was my first live stream. So much fun. I really liked it, and I hope to get back into that in 2026, hoping now that I'm a little more comfortable in my job and in, you know, figuring out life again, that I could get back into live streaming and start doing that again, because I really do miss it and I really do love it. I also got my MRI scan done, which was one of the first few steps taken for my endometriosis diagnosis. I remember it was so funny when I did the scan. So they asked me what kind of music I wanted to listen to, and of course I said Britney Spears. And so the first few songs were Britney. I think they played one song twice in a row, which was very funny to me, but it's Britney, so it was fine. And then they started playing, NSYNC played, and then Taylor Swift played, and then Katy Perry and Lady Gaga, and then they just like went off and just quit playing Britney, and it was just other music. And I was like, this isn't Britney. And of course, Anthony and I celebrated our 1-year wedding anniversary, and we took a trip to a cabin and we went out and had a nice dinner, and then we just spent all day in the cabin. We made yummy food, we read books, we binge watched all of the last season of You. And it was just a beautiful, fun trip. It was crazy to celebrate 1-year wedding anniversary because it was our 5 years of dating and 1-year wedding anniversary. So it was just all around special trip. I need to take a drink of my smoothie, hold on. In May, I applied to be a choreographer for Beetlejuice Junior. I remember being so excited and nervous applying for this. When I applied, I genuinely didn't think I would get it. I was like, I'm gonna apply so then they know my face, they know my resume, and then I'll be in the back of their mind for future projects. But there's no way the first time I apply for a job here, they're gonna hire me. Spoiler alert, they did. But it was so fun. I remember I had to do my resume, and I had to come up with choreo and film myself doing the choreo, and then I had to talk about how I teach and kind of my vision for choreo for the show. And so that was a really fun process to do, and I had a lot of fun working on just the application process. For Mother's Day, we went to a tulip field, and it was so pretty and so beautiful. I remember when we showed up, because it was like an hour away. When we showed up, we pulled up to the parking lot and we were waiting for everyone, and I was like, oh, let me just like reapply some lipstick. And I pulled the mirror down and I saw that I had a hair, like a black hair growing out of my chin, and I was like, oh my god, I don't have anything to pull it. I just have to like chill. And so I remember being so self-conscious for pictures because I had this hair that no one could see on my chin, and then I also had like a pimple patch because I had this enormous pimple on my face. But you know what, the flowers were pretty. I also started dancing again, and this goes into the previous month where I was getting back into theater and feeling good about everything and just wanting to really get back into it. I started dancing and posting more on my performance TikTok and just dancing for fun again, dancing for me, which is what I've been missing. I used to have dance every week when I lived in Arizona, when I was a part of Swexy Squad, and then when burlesque was in season. And then when we moved, I haven't had that, and I find it really hard to dance for myself sometimes, and I really started getting back into that and setting dance goals and learning some of my favorite choreography, and that was really nice and really fun, and I was really proud of myself for that. And despite battling all the endo pain I was having, I was finding moments to dance again, which is my favorite way of working out, and it felt really good on my body in the moments where I did feel like dancing. Right, and then June was just a month full of adventure and doing things. So we went kayaking in a nearby lake. It was a lot of fun, and I haven't been kayaking in forever. And fun thing about that is on the way home from kayaking, I actually received the email that I was offered the job for Beetlejuice Jr. And so that was just like an extra special day, because that was just such a fun email to receive after such a nice fun day. And we celebrated by going to go get ice cream. Which, you know, just makes everything 10 times better. We spent a day in the city, which was so much fun. We walked around, we saw the fountain, we laid in the grass by the lake, I want to say for like 30-40 minutes. We just laid there enjoying the sun and the air and the breeze and everything, and it was so nice. And we got yummy donuts, I think Stan's donuts, really good. And then we also got Gino's East pizza, which if you live in Chicago, you know is top tier pizza. So it was just a great day. It was such a fun day in the city. 10 out of 10 would do it again. Hopefully we do that again in 2026. And then we also went out to Tennessee and visited my parents. Penny got to go swimming in the pool for the very first time, and she just looked like a little baby shark swimming out there. It was so cute. And then we drove back with Dionysus, my Jeep. And we also got to see Phil perform in a show. It was our first time getting to see him perform after they moved out to Tennessee. He got into the theater world, he became a thespian, and we hadn't been able to make it out to a show yet, and we finally got to see him in Fiddler on the Roof. So that was really extra special about the trip. And then we come to July, which is the big bang, the big thing from this year, which was my endometriosis surgery, and finally getting diagnosed with endometriosis. So I went in for my laparoscopic surgery on July 3rd, and everything went well. They said everything that they found they were able to take out. There was very little endo left under my diaphragm, and then another spot I can't remember right now off the top of my head. But overall, it was a successful surgery, and I was diagnosed with stage 4 endometriosis, which is the most severe form. That was the big thing, and recovery was hard, but I want to say I had easier than I expected. The first few days were definitely very rough, but also on the way home from the hospital post-surgery, I wanted a smoothie. And so we stopped to get smoothies, and then I had to go potty, and I went to the bathroom by myself and was fine. So, you know, but I did vlog all of that. And actually, funny enough, that video, my endometriosis surgery video, is my most viewed video on YouTube ever. So that was really exciting for me, and to know that I reached and connected with that many people that may be going through something similar is the whole reason I vlogged that experience and shared it, because I know how isolating and alone that can feel, and the fact that it reached, I mean, even one person, but let alone that many, it really meant a lot to me. And I'm so glad that I can share my story and my experience, and hopefully help some other people going through the same thing or something similar. And then I was crazy. A week post-surgery, we did a road trip to Oklahoma. My best friend's little baby boy, it was his first birthday, and I was like, I'm not missing this. I didn't get to be there when he was born. I didn't get to be there for anything in his life, because I lived so far away, and I was not going to miss his first birthday, and I was not going to let surgery stop me from going to his birthday. It worked out nice because he actually has the same birthday as my niece, and so I got to go to her birthday party, and then the next day go to his birthday party and be there to celebrate both of their days and celebrate them and be there for that. So I'm really glad I went and we made that road trip, and it wasn't too bad. I had all the stuff I needed. Now we get into August. Now we get into the busy months. So 1 month post surgery, I had auditions for Heathers, so I had to choreograph, teach that a month post surgery, which I was really scared for, but it turned out being fine. So we had auditions for Heathers, and then a week later I had auditions for Beetlejuice Jr. And it was so fun getting to work on these choreos and teaching the combos and getting to see everyone and casting the shows, which is always so hard to do, but both casts were just spectacular, and me and the directors for both shows, we did a fantastic job casting them. I'm only my second and third time choreographing a show and doing that, so that was just really fun and special. Because I didn't think I would choreograph one show, and then the fact that I was now choreographing 2 shows, and I've been out of the theater for a while, and the fact that I had the opportunity to do that was just amazing. I got my new glasses in August. I love them so much. I've been wearing glasses since I was in middle school, but I've never worn them like I'm supposed to. For some reason, these glasses, I love them. I've been wearing them every day since I got them. Like, so much so that one time I went to go leave for work and I was like almost at the door and I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot my glasses, and I turned around to go get them. Old Raylan would not have done that. I definitely think it's the shape, because I had like little rectangle ones like this before, and in my peripherals I could see the frames, whereas I feel like when they're sitting on my face the way they should, in my peripherals I can't see the frames, and I think that makes a difference for me. So kudos to new glasses, actually wearing them, being able to see crystal clear all the time. It's fantastic. I should have been wearing my glasses all these years. Ooh, we saw a new Japanese garden. I forget where it is, somewhere in Illinois. We went to a Japanese garden and it was so pretty. It's only the second Japanese garden I've been to, but it was just so beautiful. I love getting to see them and walk around and just be surrounded by greenery and flowers and waterfalls and water and critters and everything. It was just so nice. It was such a fun surprise date that Anthony had planned for us. And then, of course, the big moment of August is we saw My Chemical Romance in concert, and it was everything and more. It was everything and more. I grew up listening to MCR because my brother was that kid, and so on the way to school we would listen to it. So I was definitely, you know, like 10 years old in the backseat jamming out to Welcome to the Black Parade and Teenagers and The Sharpest Lives, which was my favorite song, is my favorite song. Getting to see them live and perform the Black Parade album live was just so magical. Like, seeing Britney Spears live, seeing MCR live. Like, they're right below Britney, which is pretty amazing. If you know me, that's pretty big. All right, then we get into September, which was a big month. We started off the month, we went to Six Flags. The whole family went to Six Flags and spent most of the day there, and it was a big, I forget the like logistics of it, but it was closed down for the day and it was like a ticketed event, so like the wait lines were like non-existent. That was really, really very hype, and we got to ride a lot of the rides, if not all of them, that were open. And I got a picture with Tweety Bird, so it was perfect. And then I started my new job. So I am a preschool teacher. I am the lead teacher in the threes classroom, and it's a doozy of a job. Early childhood education is definitely not for the weak. It is definitely challenging and rewarding, and when I left my last teaching job in 2021, I didn't think I'd ever go back to education or teaching at all, because that last job was just so negative and such a, like, the worst job experience I've ever had, that I thought it turned me away from teaching forever. And I don't remember what it was that led me back to it. If I remember, like, I don't want to keep nannying. I'm not making enough money, and now I have this diagnosis and I could need more surgeries in the future. I could need a different type of surgery in the future for the different areas my endo is in, and I need PTO, I need medical leave, I need all these things. And so I was trying to think of what to do, and I had been applying for remote style jobs for a long time and nothing was grasping, which was really hard because there was another field that I really wanted to get into, and I was just not finding luck in that field. And I was like, I I can't keep waiting around. I can't keep doing what I'm doing. I'm just not making enough nannying, even though I love that family and I miss the kids so much. I just wasn't making enough. So I was like, you know, the one thing I'm good at and the one thing I know that I am qualified for is early childhood education. So I started looking up jobs and applying, and I applied to this school and I got hired on as a lead. It has definitely been a very hard and challenging and rewarding job, and those first 3 months were just absolutely brutal. Getting back into how a classroom runs, because I hadn't been in a classroom since 2021, and then also being like, oh shit, I'm the one in charge. I'm the one that has to make sure all the ducks are in a row, and remaking the schedule and making sure the schedule goes on time, and preparing everything, and so much more responsibility than I had in my previous teaching jobs. So it's definitely been a lot, and it's been an adjustment there, but also an adjustment in my personal life and home life and everything. And then to end the month of September, we saw 2 concerts in 1 week. On Wednesday, we went and saw 21 Pilots in concert, which was so super cool. I was very surprised when he got up and had the audience holding him, playing his drums. That was so cool. And then on Saturday, we went and saw Hans Zimmer live, or The World of Hans Zimmer, actually is what it's called, the live orchestra. And that was just amazing to hear some of those songs. Like, well, obviously we went for Interstellar to Cornfield Chase was the #1 reason we went to hear that live, and then Lion King and Pirates of the Caribbean and The Prince of Egypt and Wonder Woman, and just all of these iconic films and iconic music scores. To hear them live was absolutely amazing. And the hotel we stayed at, their breakfast was fire. It was so good, and you got to make your own iced coffee. Like, I want to go back to that hotel in Minneapolis just to have their breakfast. And then October was opening night. So Beetlejuice Jr. and Heathers opened on the same day on October 3rd, and it was just so surreal to have 2 shows opening, and that I choreographed 2 shows. And I choreographed Beetlejuice Jr., which is not a show I was very familiar with, and it was just, it's a beautiful show, and the choreo was so fun, and the music so fun, and the cast was spectacular and everything. So that was really fun to get to go see the kids perform, and to have my family and friends go see the kids. It just was so special. And then Heathers, oh my gosh, Heathers, that was my first adult show choreographing, and that's quite a show to choreograph for the first time for an adult production. And the cast was just so sweet and spectacular and talented, and this show was utterly amazing. And we had friends and family come out to see the show, and they all knew nothing about the show, and I kept all of Act 2 a secret from my husband, and they all just, they were laughing, they were crying, they felt all the emotions, and they loved it so much. And that was so rewarding as a creative person, to have people feel emotions at the work that you were a part of creating. So that was, it was spectacular. And my cast got me the sweetest little like thank you bag at the end of on closing night, and there were some crazy things in that bag. And that was the show I worked with my friend Anna that I met at the callback, where we both got cut. So, you know, going to the audition for many reasons was so worth it. I wouldn't have had Heathers if I didn't go to that audition. And then I made an Oogie Boogie pumpkin, which was super fun to do. I made it for school. We had a pumpkin decorating contest amongst all of the classrooms, and so I got to do that, and I made my first like big pumpkin. And then, of course, to round out October, we had our annual Halloween party, our Palzoween, as you'd say. Me and my husband dressed up as the French fun outfits from the game Expedition 33, and it was so much fun. I loved getting to, it was such a fun costume. I felt great all night, and I had a baguette on my back, which, you know, handy dandy snack whenever you need. I did eat it. It was fun. We had like a relay race, and we played Smash Bros, and we did karaoke, and it was just such a fun night for all the friends to get together and just have fun. You know, it's really hard to do that as adults, to just get together with friends and have fun and connect. And so getting to do that for the Halloween party was really nice, and we're all in fun costumes, makes it even better. In November we saw Wicked. I got to see it 2 nights early with my mother-in-law, so that was really special. And then I got to see it on Saturday again with my husband and a group of friends. We all went out to Chili's to get the Wicked margaritas and then go see the film all together. So it's just overall fun thing. I love Wicked. That is the show that got me into musical theater. So these movies I've been waiting so long for. And so it's really fun to kind of to watch the final film. And I cried at the top of the movie the first time because it was like a full circle moment of finally getting to see the last movie. And then I got my banana tattoo. So I got this, my parents got it for me when we visited for Thanksgiving as a birthday present. And the banana is for Zeusy. His favorite toy was always a banana back in middle school, high school, and then again as an adult. He had 2 different banana toys throughout his life, and they were always his favorite. He'd have a bucket full of toys and he'd always go for the banana. So this banana tattoo is for him. This was really special to get this one. And it was my first tattoo in like 6 years, which is too long. And then finally we get to December. We went to go see the Nutcracker Ballet in Chicago, which was just a beautiful show. I loved getting to dress up with Anthony and go to the ballet. It's always just such a fun event and evening. And then of course I got to celebrate my 28th birthday and celebrate 28 whole years on this earth. 28 whole years of me. Okay. Oh, and I made homemade cinnamon rolls for the first time. That is worth noting. Very important, very big moment. And that's our 2025. There was so much that happened this year. A lot of big moments, little moments to celebrate, a lot of adventures, a lot of unexpected things, and good and heartbreaking. And it makes me excited for the new year. I love getting to reflect on the year and look at everything and going through pictures and videos. So anyways, thank you for joining me for this video, and if you are here for any videos in 2025, thank you so much for being here, and can't wait to see what memories we make in 2026. And I'll see you in the first 2026 video.